in your house, and he who is bought with your money must be circumcised. And my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. And the circumcision, or and then, sorry, he said, and the uncircumcised male child who is not circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin, that person shall be cut off from his people. He has broken my covenant. Now, hear this. When God met Abraham, he said, Abraham, I have chosen you to be my son, and through you, I'm going to raise a nation, and that nation will be a special people unto me. Now, this is the identity you will give to this people and your descendants, including yourself. So every male child born into your family and into your lineage shall be circumcised. So circumcision became a seal of identity for all those who were born in the lineage or from the loins of Abraham, which we now know as the children of Israel. So, throughout the generations, the children of Israel, particularly the male born children, were circumcised. So, circumcision was a seal so that any nation that did not circumcise their children or their people, they do not belong to the family of God's people. And God said, even Abraham, if you bought in those days, slavery was common. So if you bought somebody or a slave was born into your house, or as a slave parent gave birth to children in your house, those children must be circumcised. Anybody who is not circumcised, that person shall be cut off. It means that person does not belong to me. So circumcision was the first seal of identification as to those who belong to God. So if you belong to God, you must be circumcised, and that will be your seal of identity. The second identification that was given in those days was when you bought a slave, and the slave decided that he will not go after the year of Jubilee. He will not be free. He want to remain under your control and your care so that the wife and children will remain under you. This is what the Bible said. The Bible said you have to bore a hole in the ear of that person so he becomes your slave. And that ear that has a hole in it is also a seal that you bought that person, you own that slave. In Exodus chapter 21, the verse 6 and 5 and 6, he said, but if the servant plainly says, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free, then his master shall bring him to the judges. He shall also bring him to the door or to the doorpost, and his master shall pierce his ear with an awl, and he shall serve him forever. So that was the second seal of identification as to those who were bought into a family. Then there was the third, or there is a third identification. The third identification is that which is currently in existence as to whether you are a child of God or not. So the third one is that which identifies the individual as children or as a child of God. If you don't have that identification, then you are not a child of God. You don't belong to God. So if you don't belong to God, then it means you are carrying another owner's identification, which is obviously the devil or Satan. So this identity is given to those who are born